Well, Meghan's upset plenty of people and possibly embarrassed Prince Harry.
It was one of those nights when the world feels quiet, almost too quiet. Past midnight, when even Beverly Hills seems asleep, a sudden phone buzz sliced through the darkness. The studio manager, groggy and half-dreaming, blinked at the screen. An unfamiliar Beverly Hills number glowed back. He hesitated, picked up, and what came next would ignite the internet. The voice on the other end, calm, crisp, and colder than ice. "You don't know me," she began, the words cutting with deliberate precision. "This is Meghan Markle. Take it down. You'll regret it." That's all she said, short, sharp, and devastatingly clear. And that's how the midnight storm began.
By not wearing a poppy alongside her husband at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party.
At first, he thought it was a prank. Who wouldn't? Meghan Markle calling in the middle of the night? But then, that name landed like a gut punch. The silence in his house felt eerie, the kind that fills the air right before something big breaks. He glanced at the call log. 7 a.m. An incoming call from a number linked to a Montecito assistant. That small, chilling detail would later become the smoking gun. But it didn't end there. Within minutes, a fan account somehow got hold of the voicemail and dropped it. Straight on TikTok. In seconds, the internet caught fire. That eerie midnight message was reborn and it went viral. YouTube reaction channels looped the soundbite. Late-night hosts cued it between monologues, Instagram reels, flooded, edits, memes, captions, all spinning around one thing. Meghan Markle's midnight call. What began as a quiet demand in the dark had turned into a public wildfire by sunrise.
She would have known of Harry's deep and personal connection to Remembrance Day, Kinsey.
By morning, the mood inside the studio was chaos wrapped in disbelief. A producer texted, "We can't take down content without clearance." Legal teams were pinging each other on Slack. Executives in London, New York, Stockholm all awake, all panicking. The phrase legal risk bounced across threads like a warning flare. When Joe Rogan saw the Slack thread, he literally froze mid-sip of his coffee. He played the clip once, twice, then again, and his face hardened. "She's threatening my show," he muttered, half in disbelief, half in defiance. And for Rogan, defiance wasn't a performance, it was instinct. He called an emergency meeting. That decision, that refusal to bow down, would define the next 48 hours.
I mean, it just shows us what the Sussexes have been reduced to, unapologetically tacky, how pathetic and disappointing their priorities currently are. Also, the Kardashians have been selling secrets about their own family.
Without any warning, mid-episode, Rogan leaned into the mic and dropped the bomb live. He played the clip on air. The studio fell into a mix of gasps and laughter. The reaction was pure electricity, part disbelief, part exhilaration. The internet went berserk. "Take it down" became not just a phrase, but a meme, a statement, a rebellion. By Lex, if you see the dawn, Spotify was in full crisis mode. Internal memos were flying. Did she actually call? One exec wrote. A production manager replied with the evidence. 7 a.m. Montecito Trace, subject line, midnight call. Risk level? High. Legal scribbled notes under the heading defamation exposure. You want to. And the craziest part, that was only the beginning.
To the media for years. If you look at TMZ today, it's Kris Jenner's birthday, Kylie Jenner's cat, and Kim Kardashian's failed bar exam. That family has the media on speed dial.
Screenshots, missed calls, timestamps, voicemail clips. Rogan's thread exploded with proof receipts, voice logs, everything. He played the midnight message again on air, and this time, the world heard it clearly. Calm, calculated, unmistakably. It was her. Another emergency meeting was called. The air inside that studio was thick with tension, lawyers pacing, producers whispering, executives clutching their phones. One message read, "If we pull it, we look weak. If we run it, we risk a lawsuit." Inside the house, the atmosphere was pure panic. Who leaked it? Who sold it? Who betrayed her? Phones were seized, devices mirrored, everyone became a suspect. Meanwhile, Rogan doubled down. He went live again, smiling that defiant smile, and dropped the line that would echo across social media. You can't bully the truth. And just like that, it wasn't a podcast war anymore. It was cultural combat, truth versus power, freedom versus control. But in the background, quietly, investigators were tracing digital fingerprints, IP addresses, proxy servers, metadata. And the trail? It led back toward Montecito. The implication hit like thunderclap. The leak may have come from her own circle. By morning, that rumor wasn't rumor anymore, it was headline gold. London tabloids called it betrayal. Los Angeles press called it implosion. Power, money, revenge, betrayal. It had all the ingredients of a royal scandal modern edition. Morning broke over London and Los Angeles like a flashbang, and by then, the story had spiraled out of control. What started as a single late-night phone call had exploded into a full-blown royal crisis with a Spotify-sized twist. Journalists from both sides of the Atlantic tore into the story like wolves. The tabloids framed it as betrayal, a trusted aide allegedly selling out the Duchess for 6 figures. Others painted it as poetic justice, the world's most media-trained woman, suddenly trapped in her own media nightmare. Every outlet had its spin. Headlines screamed about the Montecito mole. Photos of her estate were splashed across front pages, drones circling overhead, neighbors whispering that security looked tighter than ever. And then, the bombshell. An anonymous file landed on a London journalist's desk. No sender, just a short note, verify before publishing. Inside, a short, authenticated audio clip. Engineers compared the tone, frequency, even background hums. The results were chilling, the clip was genuine. In that grainy recording, Meghan's voice was stripped of its polished grace. No camera smile, no rehearsed tone, just pure fury laced with precision. Call Spotify, she allegedly said. Tell them if that episode isn't gone by sunrise, I'll start talking about their internal contracts. They won't survive that. It wasn't a rant, it was leverage. And once that leaked, the world lost its mind. Lawyers called it extortion. Supporters called it empowerment. Twitter threads turned into full-scale moral wars. Meme accounts churned out edits before the hour was over. The words "they won't survive that" became a viral sound, remixed, looped, and captioned into oblivion. Inside Montecito, though, the vibe was anything but viral. It was panic. Her team switched into full lockdown mode. Devices mirrored, passwords changed, drives confiscated. Security and legal clashed. One insider whispered, "She's terrified of discovery. If they sue, every file, every message, every voice note becomes fair game." And that's when things everyone south in section turned darker. Tabloids dropped another claim that one of her own staff had allegedly sold not just one clip, but multiple recordings, confidential, private, and potentially explosive. Prices started floating, $100,000, then $125,000. The alleged seller's quote became tabloid gold. "I didn't betray anyone. I exposed the truth." Investigators began tracing uploads. Forensic analysts pinpointed the digital footprint, a 2-hour window out of Santa Barbara County. That was too close. Way too close. For Palace insiders, that proximity was everything. It wasn't a random leak. It was for Palace insiders that was inside the walls. And then came the next gut punch, the assistant's name, Laura Simmons, 28 years old, 6 months into working at the Montecito estate. And according to the digital logs, she was the one who exported the midnight call file. The evidence was brutal. Timestamp 2:13 a.m. File name, Marl after midnight. MP3, device, Laura's laptop, proxy route, London. When that forensic report landed on Meghan's marble desk, silence filled the room. No speculation, no doubt it was her own staffer. "Find her, sue her, ruin her," Meghan reportedly said, her voice shaking with rage. But her legal counsel hesitated. If they filed a case, everything could spill in discovery emails, texts, maybe even private audio notes. It was like standing on a cliff, staring down at your own secrets. By dawn, Laura had vanished. Security checked the cameras, hoodie up, backpack on, phone off, gone before sunrise. Within hours, the tabloids had the name, the face, and the headline. Inside source sells Meghan meltdown audio for $125,000. The betrayal narrative was perfect too. Perfect. And for Meghan, the humiliation was total. Inside the house, tempers flared. "She lived in our wager." "Guest house," one aide shouted. "Impossible," another said. But the math didn't lie. That day, Montecito wasn't just chaos, it was collapse. Advisors clashed, PR heads resigned, and legal warned, if we push harder, we'll lose control completely. The palace across the pond, dead silent at one, least in public. But behind the scenes, aides were briefing reporters off the record. They called it a concerning precedent. Translation: the monarchy was watching every second of this train wreck. Meanwhile, Rogan's show became a symbol, a rallying cry for free speech, truth, and defiance. "Nobody tells me what I can or can't say on my own damn podcast," he told his audience. "If they think they can bully us into silence, they picked the wrong guy." And the internet loved it. Hashtags flooded every feed. Memes turned into merch. YouTubers reacted. Commentators fought. The Meghan-Rogan showdown had officially become a global spectacle. But that was only Act 2, because not long after, another mysterious envelope arrived, this time at the office of an investigative journalist. No name, no return address, just one cryptic message. This is what they were afraid of. Inside, a small scuffed USB drive. Forensics went wild. The newsroom became a clean room. They wrapped the drive in evidence tape, ran tests, and what they found was staggering. 3 audio files, 1 transcript, 1 folder labeled context, 2 voices, 1 British, 1 American, both unmistakable. Experts verified. No edits, no synthetics, no AI fingerprints. It was real. A single line from that transcript sent chills through the newsroom. He told her this call would never see daylight. Editors debated for hours. Publish or not. Legal warned. International litigation. Unlawful acquisition. But someone leaked word anyway, and rival outlets pounced. Within hours, teasers hit social feeds. Journalist holds recording between Meghan and Senior Royal, and that's when the internet erupted again. In Montecito, Meghan reportedly watched the coverage in silence. Pale, rigid, expressionless. Her team scrambled, drafting cease and desist letters, while her PR strategist screamed for a plan. One advisor whispered, "It's not about the tape anymore, it's about the archive," because rumors swirled that there was more files labeled Phone Call Charles, M4A, Note to Harry, Wave, private recordings, intimate, unfiltered moments that could shake more than reputations. When a reputable London outlet confirmed that at least one file was authentic, the world froze. It wasn't gossip anymore, it was documentation. And once again, all trails pointed back to Tireway. Santa Barbara County, to the assistant who disappeared, and to the house that couldn't control its secrets. The world split down the middle. London called it institutional risk. Los Angeles called it emotional betrayal. Palace aides quietly prepared statements. Royal commentators whispered the X-word crisis. Meanwhile, on social media, the narrative fractured into extremes. Team Truth, Team Tape, Team Meghan, Team Rogan. Every tweet was a battlefield, every meme a weapon. And then came the Netflix twist. Her official team account posted a black square with 6 white words. "You haven't heard the full truth." Views exploded. Netflix confirmed an unscripted special, 1 chair, 1 mic, 1 confession. The tagline, the tape, the truth. The strategy was bold, take control, reclaim the story, but the risk? Catastrophic. When the sit-down aired, it was cinematic. Meghan alone, soft lighting, her voice trembling just enough to feel raw. "I know what people think they heard," she began, "but that's not the full story." For 15 minutes, the world almost believed her again, until the glitch. A sudden red banner flashed across the live stream. Archive file attached deleted. Not delete. And for a split second, rehearsal footage leaked her whispering off camera, "Does it sound believable if I cry after that line?" The screen went black. Twitter imploded. Was it sabotage? A hack? A counter leak? Nobody knew. But the illusion cracked. That one glitch turned a redemption arc into another firestorm. Meanwhile, across the ocean, a sealed envelope arrived at the palace. Inside, another drive. Labeled simply Harry, Z1, Final, MP3. No one knows what was on it. But sources described the reaction inside Buckingham Palace as stunned silence. The stakes had shifted again. No longer just gossip or scandal, but something bigger, institutional, strategic, dangerous. Investigators now treated it like an information operation, tracing who had access, what else existed, and how deep the leaks went. And the cruel irony? The more Meghan's team tried to contain it with legal threats, encrypted wipes, NDAs, the more the archive spread. Shadow copies surfaced online, backup drives appeared. It was unstoppable. By week's end, exhaustion replaced chaos. The headlines grew darker, slower. Analysts talked about the economics of outrage. The experts warned, in a world of infinite backups, nothing ever disappears. And the photo that stayed burned in everyone's mind? A single grainy aerial shot of her Montecito driveway, captioned, "Ground Zero of the mystery tape." Because no matter how much power, money, or influence you have in the age of viral truth and digital ghosts, one fact remains: nothing, ever, truly, disappears.